And we are live. Welcome everybody to Humpday Hangout episode number 3. I think we're finally getting the hang of it. My name is Zane Miller, and with me, as always, is my brother and business partner Van. Say hi to the nice people in YouTube land.
Hey everybody.
So today we are going to be discussing what I now see as like this ongoing debate of Facebook versus Google, which I think is funny because I mean, when you think about it, there's always got to be two big brands to really make a something like something this big as social media to compete with each other. So I see them as like Coke and Pepsi, right? Like they're never neither one is going to go away, or at least the concept of it. But I mean, this whole discussion of Facebook versus Google and some of the recent media about Google taking a downhill decline. I mean, I look at it and I see nothing but corporate interests. I see, how can we all make this more controversial and create a big debate so that there's this constant discussion between the two? And I think they've done a really good job of making that happen. I mean, it's like Marilyn Monroe says, whether they're talking good or bad about me, they're still talking about me. So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves or anything like that. So Van, how are you?
Doing good. We definitely are staying busy.
Right, for sure. So you got are you timing us?
Yes.
All right, cool, cool. All right, then I'll lean on you to make sure that we don't go over. So to kind of give you context of what's going on, because we can't cover everything in a 15-minute chat, but at least to get the conversation going in the G-Tron community as well as here on YouTube. I ended up in a Facebook chat in a group with a group called the Internet Marketing Super Friends. Pretty cool. And I was someone was nice enough to basically call me out and say that I was an expert when it came to Google Plus. Somebody had made a post asking, "Hey, who should I connect with?" And nice enough, this person said, "Oh yeah, Zane Miller. I would definitely recommend him." To which I came back with, "Thank you. I actually believe, and I'll tell you guys this too. I believe that a couple of people, Ronnie Benzer and Martin Shervington, are among like two of like the they're head and shoulders above me with Google Plus. Again, I focus on the concept of how all of the pieces come together: YouTube, Hangouts, Google Plus, and AdWords for video. And so, like that's where I see myself as an expert, because I wanted to make sure I understood how Google Plus worked so that I could figure out how everything works together. So, again, with that, it was very nice of them, and it continued the conversation. And I just I still laugh at this, but eh, everybody was called in, all of the experts, right? A bunch of people were basically pulled into the conversation. We were all talking about Google Plus, and then this guy pops up and he's like, "Well, Google Plus is going downhill, so I wouldn't recommend that any marketer puts any effort into Google Plus." I just like I can't help but laugh, because why would you put yourself in that situation where like there's like all the people who are really jazzed about a particular topic, and then you come in just to kick over the anthill? I mean, like, I don't know. What do you think, man?
It sounds like he was setting himself up for a big punch in the face.
And that is pretty much what happened. I mean, he cited a couple of articles, and I'll put them in the description below after we're done here, and you can make a judgment for yourself. But like one of the articles was a recent one by TechCrunch, and I won't go into the gory details, but basically, long story short, Google has already come out and said, "Nah, that's not really what's happening. So that's just a bunch of crap." So there was that article that was dropped in there, and then, and then there was this other article that was written like 2 years ago, and the guy's argument was that, well, this is a couple of years old, but I'm pretty sure everything's the same. And like that's the other thing that I was just like, okay, yeah, you're just like what, like in the internet world, like a month is like an eternity. So he says 2 years, 2 years. I'm sure everything's the same. Just again, I laugh Mostly because I don't see it as a Facebook versus Google Plus thing either. I mean,
Well,
you
and
and
you
I were
know,
talking
Google
about it,
Plus
right?
has a tendency to, or Google in general has a tendency to always stay the same. They don't make a lot of changes.
Right. Right. So that was actually one of the big things that you and I were talking about, Van, was the like when we first started talking about like the concept of how we would approach this very topic of Facebook versus Google, and I like our the decision that we came to, which is more of not Facebook versus Google Plus, but more of open-minded marketers versus narrow-minded marketers, because I use Facebook, I use well, okay. I have used Instagram. I've used lots of different platforms. Like as I see it, we should be using as many tools and platforms as possible to expand our business. And so whether if even if you're somebody who's like just totally 100% Google Plus and screw Facebook, I also think that's narrow-minded. You shouldn't just say one or the other. You should be using everything. I mean, what do you think, man?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think one of the advantages that we have as we are putting effort into Google Plus is that Google Plus is, and like as far as the timeline goes, it is comparatively new. They're still rolling out a lot of this stuff. I mean, they're still getting their ads platform working and up and going. It's going, but I think they're still working out a lot of the details of it. But the bottom line is if you went back 4 or 5 years and were able to jump on Facebook and take advantage of their advertising platform, be one of the first ones in the pack,
Mm-hmm.
you would have done it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And here you have the opportunity to do this with Google Plus, and instead you're going to get a lot of these naysayers like, oh no, don't do that with Google Plus. It's just going to be a waste of time. So it just seems kind of weird that there are people trying to keep the norm going instead of exploring and checking out new options. And so, I mean, eventually Google Plus is going to get to that point where Facebook is, where it's, plenty of advertising, super saturated, a lot more to compete with, and
Mm-hmm.
there'll be a new dog in the fight eventually. The advantage of Google Plus, and the reason that we came up with the whole G-Tron idea or concept is because Google is a powerhouse when it comes to marketing. And there's more than just Google Plus. You got Hangouts, you got YouTube, you've got AdWords. You have a lot of tools at your disposal. And so we're just basically trying to take advantage of them to the best of our ability at this time. Like we always try to do, we are trying to stay updated on what's going to be the most effective and up-to-date technology out there to make your marketing more effective. So,
Yeah.
as Amy was pointing out, it's kind of narrow-sided to just say, "Oh, yeah, this is the only thing to focus on." So, if you find more stuff out there that makes your job easier, then no, go for it. There's no reason not to take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's also why I like the G-Tron concept is that I mean the main core focus is Google, but as we start testing new ways of how we can leverage this marketing machine as the core, there are other additions, more upgrades, more like updates if we want to keep on with that whole robot concept. Here's G-Tron for Kindle, and here's G-Tron for Pinterest, and like whatever's the most effective things, that's where Van and I are going to be heading and saying, huh, that's a pretty interesting direction. Let's see how it can do this, and we're fully accepting and excited to see how things change and evolve, because they only change because they want to get better. I mean, change isn't always better, but what's the phrase? Different isn't always better, but better is always different, right?
Yeah.
So if we're always moving towards that direction, there's always going to be something new. So again, like the overall focus here is don't be one of those narrow-minded marketers. I mean, heck, 8 or 9 years ago, when Google actually bought YouTube for 1.65 billion dollars, by around 2007, 2008, there was a lot of critics saying, well, we don't really know where YouTube or Google is going with this whole YouTube thing. It just seems like it was a frivolous purchase. And then 2009 hit, the AdWords for Video platform came out, and here we are. Is that us, or are we
No, no,
talking?
sorry, just a message.
Ah, okay. I'm always paranoid that I'll go down these rabbit holes for too long. But see that. But my point though was that there's a lot of criticism about YouTube, and now here we are leveraging an evolution of YouTube, which is these live hangouts.
Yeah. No, the Hangouts is a definitely is an awesome approach. It actually reminds me of when I was teaching. I used to teach at a school for kids that is a residential school for kids that had problems, and I was the graphics teacher, and I'd tell them right from the very beginning, you know what, I am pretty decent at what I do, but I don't have all the answers, and so if you guys come across something new or a different technique or something that is, would make the process better, let me know. I won't shoot down your ideas. I like to think that I'm always willing to learn more stuff, even if it's from somebody that's brand spanking new. And so having that kind of mentality that you're always out there to learn and to expand your knowledge base, you're always going to be in a good position. But the second you start feeling like you know it all and that you have all the answers and there's nothing better out there, then you're going to shut yourself down and you're going to keep yourself from exploring new options out there.
Well said. Very well said. So, where are we on time then?
We have about 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay, cool. The last bit here that I wanted to point out is again more of focusing on the point of the open-minded versus narrow-minded, because it's really frustrating to me because I think people get stuck in this mindset of of us versus them, and it's I have to aggressively attack my competitors, and I don't think that there's any such thing as competition. I mean, when you're creative enough, everybody wins. But if you don't believe in that framework, I also believe that the best way to truly compete with somebody else is to simply make them irrelevant. Be so different and so unique that it's what you offer, and it's very clear and concise, and you actually come up with new ways of attracting customers that no one else can. So don't compete, just work on making the other guy irrelevant. Any thoughts on that, Van?
No, I totally agree. Making them irrelevant is a great way to approach your competition. As long as if you're willing to stay on the cutting edge and try and explore new things, even if it means that you might fail at some of them, you're still trying and making things work. I mean, I think it's like Google's number one reason for their success is that they're always working on new and exciting things. I was just reading an article about one of the founders that's working on the Google X project or the things under Google X, which I think one of them is like a car with that auto drives.
Oh
There's no
yeah, it
steering
drives by
wheel in it.
itself.
It
Yeah.
just drives. They're working on virtual reality glasses. It's crazy the type of things that they're willing to dive into, and we're talking some really high-end things, but they know that in the end it's going to pay out for them, even if their projects don't work out. So staying cutting edge, always trying to explore, you're going to make your competition irrelevant.
Very well said. Very well said. So we're getting down to the end of our 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with the fact that we actually are going to be going over a lot of Google Plus stuff on Thursday tomorrow, wrapping everything up into a consolidation of let me show you how to do everything with Google Plus in an hour or so. So with that said, if you guys want to check that out, I'll have that in the link below as the little sales pitch at the end or a little commercial. And
Well, let me
Ben,
also
any
bring
parting
up,
thoughts? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I also wanted to bring up a lot of people seeing this on the community is that we came out with a newsletter. That newsletter has officially expanded into the G-Tron Elite membership site.
Mm.
This is a place where people have the opportunity to come in and be able to get more concentrated information about what we're doing and have more access to behind the scenes information, hangouts that we're not making public that are actually private. And we already posted a couple of these events as things that are be coming up in the next couple of months here. So if you're interested, we'll also put a link up there for the membership information, and you guys can see all the different things that we're offering. It's a whole lot more than the newsletter. The pricing hasn't changed. The newsletter price that you saw
Okay.
originally, that's the actual price now for the community. So it's not just the newsletter. It's a whole big chunk of value that you're going to be getting as a member of the uh, elite group that we've created. So anybody that's already signed up for the newsletter is automatically part of that community as well. So that's my little plug right there, Zane. So that's
Bam.
how I'm wrapping it up.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you on next week's Hump Day Hangout. Bye.
Adios.